What if this summer was actually different? Not because you overhauled your entire life, but because of 10 small, almost invisible habits that your brain responds to on a biological level. Science shows the brain is most open to change during low-stress periods. Summer is exactly that window. These 10 habits won't just make your summer better, they will quietly rewire the part of your brain that has been running on anxiety for years. During summer, longer daylight hours increase serotonin naturally. Warmer temperatures lower cortisol. More unstructured time allows your brain to finally breathe and process. Most people waste this window, scrolling and waiting for September to get serious. These 10 habits will help you use it instead. Morning light before your phone. Every morning this summer, before you touch your phone, step outside for 3 minutes and let natural light hit your eyes. This triggers your brain's internal clock to release cortisol at the right biological time. Not the anxious kind, the focused, calm kind. Anxious brains run on disrupted cortisol rhythms. This one habit begins to repair that. 3 minutes, zero cost. One meal without a screen. Once a day, eat one meal in silence. No phone, no video, no podcast. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that people who regularly eat without digital stimulation report significantly lower baseline anxiety within 3 weeks. Every notification is a microdose of cortisol. One screenless meal per day gives your nervous system a daily reset it almost never gets. Start with lunch. 10 minutes of silence. Walk without destination. Once a week, walk somewhere with no destination and no headphones. Stanford researchers found that walking in natural environments reduces activity in the brain region most associated with repetitive negative thinking, the region that keeps you stuck in loops. Unlike meditation, which anxious people often struggle with, walking does this automatically. You are not walking for your body. You are walking to quiet the loudest part of your anxious mind. Say no to one thing per week. Once a week this summer, say no to one obligation you would normally accept out of guilt or fear. People with anxious nervous systems are disproportionately likely to be chronic people pleasers. This is not personality, it is a survival response from childhood. Every time you say no from a calm place, you send a new signal to your amygdala that boundaries are safe. One no per week. 12 weeks, 12 new signals to your brain. Cold water in the morning. 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your morning shower. That is all. Cold water activates your vagus nerve, the primary pathway of your parasympathetic nervous system, your biological opposite of anxiety. Research found that brief cold exposure increases norepinephrine by up to 300% and measurably reduces anxiety over consistent use. Summer makes this easier. 30 seconds every morning. Notice something. None of these habits require willpower. None require you to be more disciplined than you currently are. That is intentional. Anxiety is not a motivation problem. It is a nervous system problem. You cannot willpower your way out of a dysregulated nervous system. You can only create the right conditions for it to regulate itself. The next 4 habits go even deeper. 5 minutes of expressive writing before sleep. Not a diary, not a gratitude list. Just 5 minutes of writing whatever is in your head, unfiltered, unedited, unjudged. Dr. James Pennebaker's decades of research found that expressive writing significantly reduces anxiety and improves emotional regulation, effects lasting months after the writing stopped. 5 minutes before sleep empties the mental loops your brain would otherwise process all night. You wake up lighter. Over a summer, you wake up different. One genuine conversation per week. Not small talk. One real conversation where you say something true about how you actually feel to someone you trust. Anxious people are often excellent performers of connection, but rarely allow themselves to be truly known. Neuroscience shows that genuine social connection releases oxytocin and reduces amygdala reactivity. One honest conversation per week trains your brain that intimacy is safe. One truth, once a week. 20 minutes of single tasking daily. Pick one thing, close everything else. Do only that for 20 minutes. The anxious brain never fully lands in the present because it is always scanning for threats. 20 minutes of single focus per day builds attentional control, the ability to choose where your mind goes instead of being dragged by it. Start with something enjoyable. Make it daily. This is the neurological foundation of calm. Spend time near water. A lake, a river, an ocean, even a fountain. Neuroscientist Wallace Nichols found that water environments reduce rumination, increase alpha brainwaves, and measurably lower cortisol. Summer gives you access to water that other seasons do not. One afternoon near any body of water per week produces real reductions in anxiety. You do not need to swim. You just need to be there. Your nervous system knows what to do with water. It has known for 200,000 years. Do one thing just because it feels good. Not productive, not optimizing, not for anyone else. One thing this summer, purely because it brings you joy. For anxious people, this is almost always the hardest habit on the list, because somewhere along the way, many of us learned that rest must be earned, that enjoyment is only safe when everything else is finished. That belief lives in the nervous system as a constant, low-grade urgency. Choosing something purely for how it feels sends a direct message to that part of your brain. You are allowed to exist without performing. The neuroscience is clear. Positive emotion builds long-term psychological resilience. But beyond the science, you deserve a summer that actually feels like yours. 10 habits, none of them dramatic. Your brain is not permanently wired for anxiety. It is a living organ that responds to what you repeatedly give it. This summer, give it something different. Not a transformation, just 10 small signals that tell your nervous system it is safe to begin.